Has communication with your adult child been a real problem? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to effectively communicate. Hi, I'm Marie Moore, and I'm a therapist and a wellness coach. Let's get started. 3 keys to effectively communicate is 1, your level of mindfulness and attention to how you're feeling, so that you can respond and not react. Number 2 is to do daily practices that help you manage your emotional state. And number 3 is to be compassionate with yourself. We've been talking a lot about adult children saying their parents are toxic, and you may have been toxic. In my last video, we talked about 3 ways to communicate: validating, watching your tone, watching your body language. These are really important. But what do you do before that? Because let's face it, there could be a very tense situation with you and your adult child or your family member, and you're like so stressed out, like, I haven't spoken to this person in a long time. The last time that we spoke, it was terrible. What am I going to do? So we first mentioned mindfulness. What does this mean? This really means you need to be paying attention to your emotional state. What are you feeling? If you're very anxious, nervous, you're going to want to get yourself calm. So getting yourself calm is a goal, but first you have to be paying attention, like, I'm really anxious. So noticing that, being mindful of it, taking your emotional temperature. What does this mean? Knowing, like, oh my gosh, if I talk to someone right now, it's not going to be good. So that's being mindful, being attentive to what you're actually feeling, and knowing that whether it's a good idea that you speak to them at that moment. So the second thing we want to do are daily practices that help us manage our emotional state. What does this mean? This means that you do things like prayer, meditation, diaphragmatic breathing, or other very good breathing techniques like 4-7-8 or 4-4-4. Or you can also do something like yoga nidra, qigong, yoga practices, anything that brings you into a level of awareness of what your physiological state is in relationship to the way that you think and the way that you feel. Our body and our minds are connected. So if we're feeling very anxious, it's very likely our body is feeling the anxiety, and it's very hard to temper that. That's why we say, take an emotional temperature, check out where you are. But when you're practicing daily things, you're on target with a goal of, you know what? I don't want to react. I don't want to be that person anymore that has to speak fire for fire. When someone says something that bothers me, I want to just lash out at them again. I want to be able to respond in a way that is as respectful as I want to receive. So doing those daily practices sets you up for learning this amazing skill of finding calm. And the third thing that you want to do on a daily basis is to be compassionate with yourself. Let's face it, we live in a very, very stressful world. And if your adult child is cut off from you, or if you're the adult child and you've needed to cut off from your parent, or if you're a family member and there's a lot of stress in your relationships, that's stressful. Not to mention the external things that are going on in the world right now. There's a lot of stress, and it's hard to just do life regularly. However, if we have this degree of self-compassion, meaning I'm going to do the best I can with where I am every day, and every day I'm going to pour grace upon myself to do the best that I can. What does that mean? That means that some days we might not do as well as others, but we still give ourselves kindness and we treat ourselves like a good friend. So in my ebook, which you can access in the description box below, Feeling Heartbroken and Alone, How to Pick Up the Pieces When You Are Estranged, I talk about all sorts of things on how to manage this difficult period of being estranged from someone that you care very much about, and how to manage all of those things, like taking care of your body, taking care of your emotional health, emotional visits. So you're going to want to get that. So one of the things that we talked about last time is the importance of, when you do speak to someone, that you actively listen, that you validate what they're saying without needing to give a defense or communicate like an argument, but you want to validate and say back to them what you think they've said so that they feel heard. It's not going to be an argument or a defensive thing. And another thing we talked about was our body language being open, so that we look and appear with an intention that we want to hear them because we genuinely care for them. And the other part of good communication is to speak in a tone that says we want to listen. So our body language, our tone, and being able to validate. So what has someone said to you? Have they told you that you're toxic? And what are these behaviors? In my next video, 12 signs of a toxic parent, you're going to want to watch that, and you're going to find all about that. So don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought of this video. We'll see you in the next video.